Peter, I just want to get one final thought from you. Are there words that are used to describe men that offend you?
Not particularly, and if there are some I don't like, I certainly wouldn't want them banned. But it always goes back to that old adage: sticks and stones may break my bones, but there will always be something to offend a feminist.
Peter Lloyd.
No, that's just obnoxious.
Peter
Sorry,
Lloyd,
you have to give me a
I think
chance
we'll
to
let you
respond to
carry
that.
on this
That is
discussion.
ridiculous.
Prove it his
No,
point.
hang on, I won't do your show again if you don't let me respond to that.
Okay, have a word.
Come on, that's ridiculous. I mean, first of all,
The proof is absolutely in the pudding, man. Look at the difference in aggression between her face and his. Slid right into his booby trap and proved his point perfectly.
There I was thinking it was just me that had a problem, but it turns out it's the air conditioning that's sexist.
I know. So many women in our office have the exact same problem. You know, we just sit there absolutely freezing at our desks trying to type. You can probably tell I've got a cold right now, which I blame all on the AC. And so it's just so actually quite nice to see this research. It's just such a relief to know that there's actually proof that this is happening, that women, do feel the cold more than men, and that the AC in offices is normally regulated more for a male's temperature than a woman's.
And it's an explanation for these constant battles you'll see in offices right across the country between the sexes for control of that office thermostat.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, one of the biggest problems is that often in offices, it is men who control temperatures. That's just something I've found anecdotally. And because majority of the men in offices seem to be absolutely fine with the temperatures, women kind of just sit there on the corner feeling absolutely frozen. And, often, actually nothing's being done to help them. And, it might sound like a bit of a silly, light-hearted issue, but actually it's really uncomfortable being freezing at your desk every day. Take it from me.
No, I know I experience the same, because what I've often found is you go in on a really hot summer's day, you're wearing summer clothes, you go into an office and it's absolutely freezing. I think even for some men it must be too cold. I don't understand why air conditioning is often so cold. So what you have to do is then take a jumper in with you and put that jumper on in order to be able to function.
Yeah. Honestly, I think so many women listening now are going to just be nodding their heads thinking, yes, that is exactly my reality. We joke at work that we actually can't dress fashionably anymore for summer because you actually just can't go in sandals. You can't go in a summer dress because you're going to have to put on the jumper or the emergency cardigan. It is quite frustrating, especially when you then go out on your lunch break or your commute home and you're absolutely boiling outside. And I think there is a bit of a problem when it's warmer outside than it is inside your office.
It's called work attire for a reason, madame. And depending upon the type of office that you work in, it projects professionalism. But on the other hand, you are more worried about staying up with the summer fashion trends as opposed to being professional.
Research suggests that Gen Z males are rejecting feminism. Gen Z men are more conservative than boomers.
Gen Z men are becoming more conservative because millennial men were such simps, and Gen Z women are becoming everything that Gen Z men do not want. Nobody wants to date an OnlyFans girl. Nobody wants to date these girls with these feminist expectations. How dare you assume that you're supposed to pay for the first date, but then at the same time, it's like, how dare you not pay for the first date? We're sick and tired of that. We just want things to be more traditional, how they used to be. And the expectations of what Gen Z men are supposed to bring to the table is also continuing to increase. We're supposed to be the providers and buy all these gifts and flowers and all these things. Do you know how expensive all of that is? And Gen Z men can't afford to do it because liberal policies have made everything unattainable for us.
I have a PhD in digital feminist activism.
So in order to fight the patriarchy, you took on a shitload of debt so that you now have to spend the next 40 years being essentially a slave to your male bosses, doing everything they tell you to do, just so that you could pay it back. Yeah, that's a feminist moment right there.
Can you name any rights men have today that women don't?
Any rights that men have that women do not? Any rights that men have that women do not? No.
Okay.
No.
So then what laws are feminists fighting for?
Shit, that's a good one.
Shout out to my bro John from It's Complicated. Fantastic question. But it goes to show you how much actual thought that they're putting into whatever victimhood statuses that they claim. If you look underneath the hood, you'll find that the majority of modern day feminists today are fighting for the opportunity to suppress thoughts, feelings, ideologies from men with no consequences. Or they're fighting for the right to live within their truth with absolutely no consequences, criticisms, or critique. They just want to live unabated in this slut walk generation of hedonism, no accountability, and no consequences for their actions. Funny, isn't it?
Y'all ever realized how much more seriously racism is taken than sexism? Like, I just came across this dude on TikTok that was like, if women around the world, there would be no wars, just a bunch of countries not talking to each other. And it's like, my dude, that's sexist. Like, I don't get it. You're going off a stereotype. If someone was like, if black people around the world, there would only be gangs and thieves, that would be racist. That would be problematic. Like, why is it so normal to make fun of women and, like, just accept them as this inferior gender and everything's supposed to be, like, a joke? And so if you call them out in the comments, you're just a crazy feminist. But, like, it's literally sexist. And it also makes no sense, because if you just pick up a textbook, any history textbook, you'll see that every single problem humans have has been created by men.
You literally cannot make this shit up. So to combat the joke about women running countries, you literally make another joke about every single problem in history has been created by men.
So why would God equip the average woman to be smarter than men? Do you think it's just for homeschooling their children?
Again, the claim that you made at first, which is that men and women have bell curves, the men's bell curve being wider than the woman's, would not imply that the average woman is smarter than the average man.
Oh, no.
It would line them up exactly.
The curve itself implies or actually indicates that
no, it would
on
just
average...
be the extremes.
No. If you actually look at the curves, at the top, it's women taller than the men's curve.
But the IQ of the curve would be on the x-axis, right? That's where you get the extremes. So I think.
So are you disputing that on average women are more intelligent than men?
As would Larry Summers, as would the people who have studied this.
Back to me being really f***ing mad in my car. And I can't guarantee there's not gonna be screaming because I'm pissed. One of my best friends posted a TikTok about her experience. And the comments on that video disgusted me. Most of them were men invalidating the way she was feeling. Telling her she's the type of girl that would say catcalling is sexual harassment. Newsflash, it is! It was either that or saying not all men. Literally suck my Last year, 57 people in the world, the entire world, were attacked by a shark. But y'all are still cautious around sharks, are you not? Do you know how many women on average a year are attacked by a man? 3.4 billion women a year! So, like, we have every single right.
Yeah, shark attacks do happen, which means you shouldn't jump in the Atlantic Ocean with blood all around you. But you don't see me creating content on the internet screaming at my phone regarding the hate of all sharks. But see, the smooth brain people in her audience would not make that connection that I just made for y'all and just run with the idea and the analogy. This is a face of a person who does not enjoy life and will forever use their victimhood status to hate on another. I feel bad for you.
Depending on where the planets are, can that affect us physically? Like the Mercury in retrograde, is that a real thing for you? Do you believe in that?
The good thing about science is when it's true, it's not a matter of whether you believe in it. It would be true for everyone at all times. When it really mattered to people what the planets were doing in the sky, in that day, we're talking 2,000 years ago, Earth was believed to be in the center of all motion. We would later learn and confirm that the sun is in the center of that motion and not Earth.
Yes.
So what we see is Mercury going around the sun right in front of our eyes. But Mercury is always going forward. If you went to a car race and you're watching the car go around the track and it comes from left to right in front of you and then it goes right to left on the other side of the track, right. You don't invent a word for that. You don't say, oh, that car is now in retrograde. No, because the car is always moving forward.
So you're saying there's no truth to that. This is just made up astrology.
Complete bullshit.
Yeah.
It is left over from a time when people's egos were so large that they actually believed that a planet in the sky gave a rat's ass about anything
Right.
in your life.
I just want to say that question was from Wiz Khalifa. That was not from me.
Stop stalking me, right? Don't ever stalk me again.
Is that the mailman?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
About what?
Don't ever stalk me again.
You're stalking me about
you. Have some more. Do it.
You're crazy.
Is that?
It's not stalking you if he's paid to deliver mail to you every day, ma'am. It's part of his job. He's not stalking you.
Right?
Yes, it is.
Say to the camera that you're not stalking me.
I am not stalking you. I don't even know who you are.
Is that right?
That's right.
You want to give your name?
I do not need to. You want to give me yours? You want to give me yours? Yeah, I didn't think so. I have no idea who you are, lady. So, you know, you're dreaming, you think I'm stalking you. Good luck with that.
Good response.
Keep talking, why don't you?
I call the cops on her. Wow, now you're stalking him. This is what happens when you create a society of victims. The mentally insane will look for problems in areas that never existed. By the way, the reason I say that I call the cops is because I would think that someone with her behavior would resort to violence very quickly. My only suggestion to this man is to never turn your back on someone that is that damn crazy. Because as men, we need to protect ourselves and be ready at all times.
In this space where we're told that our opinions don't count because they're not the right kind of opinions, and we're constantly shouted over and talked over regardless of what we look like, because there's one group in society that basically takes precedence, and it's frustrating. So yeah, of course, it's frustrating because when we try to talk about it, we get shouted down, we get told to be quiet, we get spoken down too as well. So there's hostility there for plenty of women.
Let's try to make this an opportunity
Prove
to
the point.
speak.
You're literally a white woman from Australia. You live in a bubble, and you're pissed that voices that have been silenced forever finally can be heard.
Literally just proved her point.